Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My internet was acting very bad. I hope it works now because I rebooted it. So this is what I wanted to say. And I'll be very brief this time around. Hopefully not my 1-hour videos because I have some other things to do. But what I'm trying to say is to disagree as human beings is very okay. In Islam, we have scholars disagreeing on what to do or what else to do or what else to do. In prayer, you realize that there are differences. There's what we call sujood sahwi. The sujood that you do, the prostration you do when you forget in salah. When you forget. When you go to Malik school of thought, you go to Safi school of thought. These are different. You have a lot of differences in the way they operate, even for salah. That is normal. It is normal to disagree. You would all agree with me that when this coalition even started, the whole of this coalition thing, the political parties coming together as one, there were a lot of disagreements. There were a lot of problems. There were a lot of disagreements. UDP wanted it to be a party-led coalition. Mama Kande wanted it to be an open primaries. Halifa Saleh wanted it to be a primary of equally represented, political party based. Every party coming in. And every party stood to protect its interests, which is normal. That is very Gambian. That is very Gambian. And when you look at some of us, a lot of us that are complaining, sometimes do not, to me, have a lot of problems with the way we look at things. And when we are dealing with situations that are sensitive and they involve people that can play very key roles, things that involve disagreements between or amongst people that have very high stake in making certain things possible. Let us be objective in the way we deal with things. Sometimes our criticisms, our attacks are based on hidden agenda, hidden personal agenda. Hatred towards a particular identity, hatred towards a particular person, hatred towards a particular group of people. That is what overshadows our analysis. That is what overshadows our criticisms, and that does not help in any way. A lot of critics of UDP and all these arguments that are going on are happening in the US and in the UK. We've seen Americans from different political parties, Republicans and Democrats, disagree to a point that federal government goes to a halt. I was never a big follower of the United States politics, but I did remember that there was a year when Obama wanted to increase the debt limit of the United States. Some members of the Congress refused. The Americans, bona fide Americans, they love the United States. But because they do not share the same political ideology with the Democrats, they refused. We've all seen that here. It went to a point that American government would stop even paying salaries. A lot of you that are watching me knew about that, whether year before last or two or 3 years ago. Republicans and Democrats disagreed on increasing the debt limit because they have different modalities, different ways of thinking when it comes to a government, when it comes to the way government is run. And they also have different interests because Democrats want to stay in power and they will do things that they think Americans would love them for. Republicans on the other side would want to stick to things that will keep them popular with American people and not to also lose support. That is what politics is about. Nyimanke ala nyininti nyimanke aljana nyinde. Of course, good people will always consider the next world from it. So when we are analyzing our politics on the ground in the Gambia, let us not forget that we are part of a wider world. We are part of a wider world. We are in the United States. We see what happens. Big political powers, big democracies. United Kingdom had a big division in their parliament, in their country, between and amongst politicians, whether to stay in EU or not to stay in EU. That disagreement happened. And what ended up happening? They went to a referendum. They had their referendum. That is what happened. Donald Trump is democratically elected as president of the United States. But there are still Americans that are demonstrating against his presidency. That shows that anywhere in politics, there is disagreement, and that is just human. I said it even among Muslims, Christians, any part of life there are disagreements. But we that are outsiders need to be careful in the way we deal with matters. When you look at these leaders in the Gambia, these political leaders, the only political party whose leader is not a founding member is the United Democratic Party. And that's why the way they handle matters sometimes is different. Halifa Saleh, head of PDOIS, is the founder, is among the founding fathers of PDOIS. PPP. Today, OJ Jallow, there is no one like him today. They are members, they are the members, they are the ones that revived that party today. When you go to my party from his party, Aïssatou Touré from his group, Henry Gomez from his group. So Ousainou Darboe didn't form UDP. He doesn't own it. UDP was formed before Ousainou Darboe. They approached different people, among them Ousainou. He was the one that accepted their approach and appeal. But Ousainou was not there when UDP was formed. Now UDP has a committee. But again, what I want to put up here is, let us not jump and start insulting people. Disagreements are okay. Everyone will protect his or her interest in politics. That's normal. Left to me alone, Gambia left a very, very, we just came out from a disastrous form of government. Now this government that we're all talking about, Yahya Jammeh's government, caused Gambia monumental loss, an enormous disaster. That is what Yahya caused that country. Now, we would all think that the next government that comes, it's an agreement and it's consensus. That the next government after Yahya Jammeh has a lot of difficult job to do. We need a concerted effort to come together and clear the mess that Yahya made in the past 22 years. There is no easy job in that government. Now, if political parties come together and agree that we are going to take down Yahya Jammeh, when we take down Yahya Jammeh, we will come together to clear the mess for 3 years. And there is one political party that withdrew from that agreement. Taking a cabinet position is a big responsibility now because people blame. In this current government, when you adjust, you create division when it comes to opinions of people, because a lot of people did bad under Yahya Jammeh. Today, those people are getting they are getting accountable for their crimes. So anybody that put them to account, you will not be popular with their families and their loved ones. That is Gambia, we know. So anybody that refuses to accept positions, we will consider that betrayals. But United Democratic Party supporters, the strong and members of the party, never went after anybody for disagreeing, for not accepting to take a position or responsibility in getting Gambia out of that terrible mess. Halifa Sallah and the entire PDOIS refused to take a single position in cabinet. To me, that is not enjoyment. That is refusing to take responsibility to get us out of a mess. That's how I see it. No minister is enjoying in this government right now because there is no money. What is there is a hell lot of work. Terrible work. Disaster that Yaya put us in. Removing us from that disaster is what is happening. My party already created a lot of hatred for himself from, a lot of people whose families are sacked from the police and people that are arrested for committing crimes. My party now, he is hated by a lot of people. But what he's doing is right because people committed crimes. Now, all of us should accept the responsibility. We must accept those responsibilities. That was the agreement. But the PDOIS, like entire maybe 50 or 100,000 members, refused to accept the position. We didn't complain. We give them credit because PDOIS is principled. Halifa is, principle, he is honest. That's fine. He is honest and is principled. But there is an agreement that he failed. And that is, we will come together and we will go together and make sure this government, that Yaya Jammeh, the mess that Yaya created, we will come together and all take the responsibility. We work hard to remove Gambians from it. Halifa distanced himself. The whole of PDOIS distanced themselves. But we are fine with that. And you've never heard Gita complain about that because they have a right at some point to accept or not to accept. That is a right. But it's not good. That was not a good move by PDOIS for any reason. Because Ibalanta ka responsibility la doku kola umimbije. Ibalanta kaoleta. Why did they do it? It can be a political move so that should there be any division or disagreement, we say, I was never a part of it. And there will be that in the Gambia because of the legacy of the last government. Now let's fast forward about this problem. When the coalition parties were coming together, the time limit was very short. And one thing they didn't put into consideration was National Assembly elections. They were preoccupied November. They had a coalition meeting in November. December was elections. They were preoccupied with presidential election and bringing people together. Parliamentary was not part of the Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU that was signed. Parliament was not part of it. Okay? Now they came together and they won elections. As far as we are concerned, there was supposed to be a fresh round of talks between and amongst parties. And anytime parties of different ideology and different political, inclination come together to discuss, each brings his or her, interest on the table. Halifa first came out and had a press conference and said the PDOIS party will at least contest 20 seats for National Assembly. So they will bring at least 20. So there are 7 plus 1 political parties. Now what percentage of 53 is 20? If Halifa comes and say, we are going to contest in 20 constituencies, and you want to stay in a coalition of 7 plus 1 political parties, Mathematicians, do the calculation. What percentage of 53 is 20? Is that equally shared? No, it's not. But I do not blame Halifa about that, because Halifa belongs to a party and the party has interest. So that is what they have to come with on the table. 20 out of 53 is 33. If Halifa takes 20 positions from the parliament, you are left with 33. So the other 7 parties have to say 33. 33 divided by, it's way more than 38. 20 out of 53 is way more than 38. Look at the maths properly. So you are leaving 33 positions for 7 political parties to share. Now the objectivity theory says that is not okay. Whether I belong to Khalifa's party or not, that's not okay. But politics of interest also says, I will forward what interests my party and the future of my party. That is what I do. Nko, naltata marseto sandirola. Naltata marseto sandirola. Ni lafta bayo sanna dalasi kemela. Ika fa mariele dalasi mwani lule bembulu. Ika fa mariele ko dalasi mwani lule bembulu. Minka wafiro ke na lafta ala bayo wafila dalasi keme. Aka fele menyi wafile ma dalasi keme fulalla. That is a normal Gambian thing. That is a normal Gambian thing. You go you wahale. Wanyal ko wa li defa seri. Ya ufo joge. Nagala muna jenda mobile bi $1,000. Nagala muna jenda mobile bi $1,000. Mbayange crazy. You say that. You cannot. And the person will say, how can I sell this mobile? Billahi wallahi man jenda na bi what I bought this for. You know, you did your things, you know. So we wahale. And we come, you come, we come. We both meet at a point that interests us. Politico beole nyama. It's not possible for Halifa Saleh alone to put in 20 candidates in a coalition government. That is not possible. But nobody in his camp or from those that are insulting Husseinu is talking about that. Now if Halifa wants to take, in fact, let me do the calculation myself. 20, some of you mathematicians, let's see if that is correct, because I'm also a mathematician. So we have 20 divided by 53 times 100. So that is 38%. So when you have 38% now, 20 minus 50 is 33. 53, sorry. 33 divided by 7. So when Husseinu Halifa takes 20 seats, each of those political parties, when they share, they will each have 5 members of parliament. Is that fair? From the political point of view? Is that fair? Alanga Tonya for, let us be objective. We all love Gambia. But each of these parties have interest. And that's, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Ning Halifa Palasi Muanta in parliament. If you share the 33 between the other 7, each of them will have 4 positions, 4 members of parliament. Or 4.8, which is 5. So Halifa Muanta nyimpartil dodoe nanita wala lulu. Woman fair. Let's say 5. Halifa 20. PDOIS. 20 people. And each of the rest of the 7 members of the coalition. 5. Is that fair? 4 times Halifa once. That is not fair. But we are not talking about that. Now, Ousainou Darboe also came in. Let us be realistic here. Ousainu's party discussed and they say we are going into tactical alliance. That is UDP's position. Tactical alliance is where you have your strongest, like where you are strongest. you put a candidate there. But who is strongest in Serekunda? Who is strongest in Serekunda constituency? Who is strongest in Birikama North? Which party is strongest in Birikama South? Who is strongest? It's very difficult to determine that. Even with that, it's very, very difficult. Now again, based on the interest of politics of interest, you see, it's about numbers, politicum numbality. Where Halifa is going to contest, this is my own analysis. You have a lot of votes in that area. You have a lot of you have a lot of votes in that area. So at the end of the day, these parties, all of them want to be the ruling party. So near Serekunda West, the Halifala or Serekunda, wherever Serekunda, and we have almost 40,000 votes in that area. Ne Halifa Ganyeta je. Abala support Billa Jeled. Adu Ninkarte Fayonata presidential election. The likelihood is as an MP, he will have strong support in that constituency. And that number is very important to Ahmad Ba. That number is very important to UDP. That number is very important to my Fati. That number is very important to Aissatou Touré. That number is very important to OJ. Nitata Kombo North, Lamem constituency. Who is the biggest, who is the strongest party there? That is open for debate. When you go to Bakau, which party is strongest there? That is open for debate. When you go to Bundung, which party is strongest there? That is open for debate. When you go to Birikama North and South, Kombo South, which party is strongest there? These are all open to debate. So we have to be very critical in the way we think. And we should not just jump on parties because they have interest and they will have to safeguard that interest. They are doing the wahale, the normal wahale that all of us will do. But ni jump teko Ousainou Darboe is the one that is destroying this. That's not true. Ousainou is not. Ousainou is not. Ousainou is not bad. If Halifa can take 20 people, 20 positions in the National Assembly, and that is provided it is the same coalition he is talking about, that UDP and Ahmad Ba refused to join the coalition. They wanted their own way. Man, Alinyanda Halifa nyininkala ol al-kabira ofo. We can support, that's fine. But let us support with sense of objectivity. Nde Ahmad Kawle kede. Aliyenni Ousainou maka umoyle. Kabirin kukeda UDP nde bijele. Bar kabirin nga kuwal jemini alon ko amante nyabo. Nga Ousainou ndia muta directly because nga kumande masoto. Nalka Halifa sala support. Ala kumanda alio faye. PDOIS. You are not putting up something that is too rational for the others. Not only Palasi Muanta. 20 parliamentary seats, not only a contest. You'll be left with 33. 33 divided by 7 is 4.7. So each of the rest of the parties will have 4 or 5 members of parliament, to 5 places to contest for. And what is the size of, PDOIS in this coalition? Ahmad Ba, wala partio wata Halifati, Ousainou Darboe la partio, wala wata Halifa la partioti, based on the past records. If Halifa can take 4 times bigger than Ousainou Darboe's party, if Halifa can take 4 times bigger than Ahmad Ba's party, oh manke, that is not democracy. That is not equitable representation. So ne Halifa o sambana alman diamu. If you cannot say, Halifa, we are with you, but going for 20 out of 53 is too much. If you cannot complain about that, when these ones come, and these people didn't say they are going to contest in all the constituencies. They said they are going in for tactical alliance. And that tactical alliance is open for interpretation. Mba repeat la nga repeat correct. Alafo Halifa eko PDOIS inyante cabinet position ota imata manfen noje luato de barin tolu fe alborta tokuyalla de tokuyami yalon ko mol be nyanta talala PDOIS borta wala yatina al mam minister palasota Halifa nyon lafta palasola le ni ma laf palasole te duna politiko kono Halifa lafta president yalale wala tina contesta at the nomination. That was why he accepted to be a flag bearer of a party. He wants a position. Momora ninka fo Halifa wasatala kerete nebe wuli afola. Halifa lafta palasola le. A lafta palasola le. Adum PDOIS mo lafta palasola le. Barintenge bunya le nge respect nge horoma. Mimu itati yeota. That's very good. Okay? That is what I'm trying to say. You know, you cannot, again, anything that is said is open to interpretation. You cannot nominate. You cannot even nominate 20. You cannot. When you have 8 parties and you have 53 constituencies, do not even nominate 20. You cannot nominate 20. That is too much for you. You are asking others to nominate how much? If it is a coalition and we should all go alone, that's not okay. You cannot nominate 20. Tell Halifa, you cannot nominate 20. If you nominate 20, each of others will only nominate 5. Halifa, that's not okay for the coalition. Tell that to PDOIS. I know for I don't agreement on Minty, ma okay. Agreement on Minty Maokere. So if UDP and Ahmad Ba also came with their position, what I think needs to happen is what happened in the United States when Obama wanted to raise the debt ceiling of the US, the debt ceiling, and the Republicans that were the Republican-controlled Congress refused, and the government went to a standstill. Americans were not paid salary. Discussion and indoor discussion is what they do, and not insulting others and putting blames on others. Of course, Obama said it. The Republicans do not want the country to go forward. That is what they do. And they can say that. But Alkana Jombi Usenu Kang. Usenu has a right to defend the interests of his party. Usenu has a right to defend what helps his party. And the other side of it is, when you accept to go for independence, now you contest. What happens is, number one principle of going independent is, you have to resign from your party. Now the people that are going to run or contest for National Assembly, I don't know of other parties, but from UDP, are very important for the progress, for the development, and for the strengthening of our UDP party. We are not just putting up anybody to contest for the election. We are putting forward our strongest people that will represent the voice of Gambians and the interests of Gambians. People that will articulate, people that will advance, people that will be selfless when it comes to nation building. Those are the people we are putting forward. And these are the people that are the movers and shakers of our own party. So what is happening is, the parties agreed that if they go to these National Assembly elections, you will resign from your party, just like Adam Barrow resigned. Adama Barrow is a member of UDP. He was. And he was a strong guy in UDP. But today, he is barred from saying anything about UDP. Because he resigned. Now we are going to have those people to resign. So when you resign strongest members of your party, let's say about 20 of them or 10 of them, to us that is costly. Because what is going to happen is, they are not going to talk about our party for the next 5 years. What happens when campaign happens? Campaign is coming in 3 years. Adama is going to leave. Okay? Adama is going to leave in 3 years. But these National Assembly members will stay there for 5 years. We are going for a second round of election. Presidential election in 2021. Our members that are members of the party now resign because they are in the parliament. That's important for us to understand. And all these are based on the interest of the parties. And of course, every party in that country, apart from APRC, the interest of that party is the same, is synonymous to the interest of the country, because nilibemu mwaleti mini alonko mo kendo lelmu nyatonka kendo lelmu adung ye banko kanule. If PDOIS control the National Assembly, I am very sure that there will be no impunity. I am very sure that there will be no extrajudicial killings. I am sure there will be no dictatorship. But if Ahmad Ba also controls the National Assembly, I am 100% sure there will be no problem. If UDP control the parliament, there will be no problem. If each of these parties come to power and control government, I have no doubt that we will have a great country and we will develop the interests of Gambians first. So, Ning Halifa Momu Anta, Usenu Nadako, we are doing it alone. Ahmad Ba Nadako, we are going into tactical alliance. That's fine. Say that's okay. Ikumandi nga singa kacha. Nandem nyuwa hale. Demawa suma selling price. Ngawa sa buying price. Nyuwa hale. Fok new bolo somewhere. That is what is fine. But the diaspora la nendiro. Nendiro watabak. Usenu teng. Usenu teng. Usenu teng. Adundenga katabake. I tried a lot of you, you would observe, Halifa Saleh, me, I tried a lot to make sure that the interest of Gambia is forwarded. Me talking about Halifa, since the election, this is the first time. This is the first time I spoke about PDOIS. This is the first time I spoke about even this party issue when it comes to National Assembly matters, because my interest is in the unity. But the unity, the way it is going to happen, there's everything you see has disadvantages. When you're going into anything, you weigh very carefully. So the way Halifa and his party weigh their moves carefully and refuse to accept cabinet is the same way UDP and Ahmad Ba, as they've accused them, are also weighing their moves carefully. Remember this. UDP has a support base. Remember that. Remember this. Ahmad Ba has a support base. Remember that. Remember this. Halifa Saleh and his PDOIS have a support base. And it is the support base that puts people in power. Whatever UDP is going to do will have to first resonate with their people. If their people want that to happen, they will advance it. If their people do not, they will not. Because if you go against the support base, you lose what you have. And no political party is willing to accept that. Ahmad Ba will only bring things to table that his party supporters agreed. Because now, okay, if he does not do that, it's going to be very, very difficult for Ahmad Ba to ever have a position in government because his support base will leave him. Namero mukulet mi alonko akumayata, and it's very, very, very important. Let's allow them to argue. Let's allow them to battle it out. There'll be disagreement, bottleneck disagreement. In fact, I'm glad they don't fight. We would have expected them to even exchange blows in the house. And we come, Useinu's head is cracked, and Khalifa's maybe one finger is dislocated, and Ahmad Ba one teeth is out because they disagreed. We would have expected that to happen. But at the end of the day, let's pray that they come together and all of them put away some of their interests and accept the orders, and we meet in the middle ground. That was what happened during the presidential coalition discussions. UDP's first position was party-led. They said, we are going for a party-led discussion. Otherwise, we want an independent candidate to apply. We want independent candidates to apply. PDOIA said, no, we want primaries, where every party will send equal representatives. And UDP said, no, we have the majority, and we will go for party-led. And that is what is conventional. But they argued, again, we outside, we insulted them, we blame UDP, we insult UDP, we said Khalifa, we insulted Khalifa, we said OJ. All of this happened. But what happened at the end of the day? They agreed, and all of us are happy. If there's anything we can learn from all of this, is disagreements can happen, but the end result sometimes is fine. Ika nyosaba le nyosaba, yetaben kanna. Nyosabo wo muku kendoliti wo manke problem ti. Baral kana parti kili wala nyatonga kilin tombong, aliyake banko jawoti, aliyake sate be jawoti, aliyamu nimbuola ninsumuna, adung, molubije mini alonko wal fanambe o kukili wale kekang, aliye walta aliye karabanji o boy kang, aliye nonol dila aliye mu, aliye nyadal malmalindina alla malamal tulola, aliye dende kabaldu ye ganila woman betea. Let us be objective. Let's try and criticize and analyze, but let this analysis be overshadowed with objectivity. Let us stop accusing people. Let us stop judging people based on hidden hatred for identity and for political affiliation. Kuma Jamal le fata jande. Moluko, when it was tough, when Adama ran away to Senegal, it was Khalifa that was there for everybody. People say that here, I never spoke. What we all don't understand, what we fail to understand is, Khalifa Saleh was speaking for people. Whatever he was bringing it out, who knows if it was only Adama that was telling Khalifa what he should say. And we would expect that was what is happening. Adama was the owner of the country. He was the man in charge. If Adama said, Khalifa, don't go and speak on behalf of the coalition, Khalifa will not speak. And Khalifa was in the Gambia, Adama ran away, fine. But coalition was a team. Khalifa was in the Gambia speaking on behalf of the coalition government, but Ousainou Darboe was also in the Gambia as foreign minister. Aissatou Touré was also in the Gambia. Fatoumata Tamba Janjallo was in the Gambia. They didn't run away. They didn't run away. OJ Jallo, I mean, interpret my words anyhow you want it. People that listen with reasoning will understand what I'm saying. But Khalifa was in the Gambia with Ousainou Darboe, with Dembo by force, with Ajiam Seka, with Aissatou Touré, with Ahmad Ba, with O.J. Jallow, with Henry Gomez. These were all in the Gambia when Khalifa was making that discussion and when the political impasse was going on. They were all in the Gambia. But we said when things were tough, it was only Khalifa that was there for us. Woman ketonyati. That was a lie. Khalifa was not the only one there. Adama was in Senegal with my party, yes. But why did they go to Senegal? They went to Senegal because the team that was negotiating, the team that had the powers, ECOWAS people, were the ones that came and said, okay, you must go out of the country. They came and collected Adama. What would Adama do? And this was agreed. Khalifa Sallah agreed to it. Sidia Jatta agreed to it. Ousainou Darboe agreed to it. Fatoumata Tambadang agreed to it. Aissatou Touré agreed to it. They all agreed that Adama should go to Senegal, and then they left. That was an agreement. That was a team agreement. But again, Gambian said Khalifa was the hero, and I love him. He was the hero. That's fine. You know, we would not have to, glorify one and vilify the other. I have nothing against Khalifa, and he has every right to do what he did. But my discussion here is going to those that are blaming other parties for, what they are doing. And the same thing Khalifa did, he is glorified. That's important. I will assure Gambians one thing before I leave. Before I leave, we will prevail as a country. Mansatallala makoiro le lata Gambia banko kang. Momora ninkoebe Gambia jamfala. Ala betele jamfala bi Gambia nol batatale. Whether it's Adama Barrow, His Excellency, whether it's Vice President Fatoumata Tambadang, whether it's Foreign Minister Ousainou, whether it's Khalifa Sallah, whether it's PDOIS Sidia Jatta, whether it's O.J. Jallow, that country we will prevail. And we will also go to this National Assembly election successfully. There will never be dictatorship because the Gambian military is back to sanity. They are in control of the weapons. They are in control of the security of the country. And there will never be a dictator because Gambian military today will never accept that suffering from them. The Gambian population will never accept a dictatorship. But this is what we do not want. But democracy comes with disagreement. Democracy comes with divergent opinions. Democracy comes with contradictions. Democracy comes with quarrels. Democracy comes with, marriages and divorces. That is democracy. But if an individual is trying to be just across the board, left away for a molia, mbal kondo na mbal jaila, alamalienzo kairola. Again, I am UDP member. But like I said, when UDP is wrong, you've seen my videos before. When I feel Ousainou is not okay, when I feel me, that's what I do. But I love Gambia, and not even my own blood brother or sister will get me out of what I feel is right. But again, disagreements will happen. In Islam, disagreements happen. I said it. People said, some said in Islam, Jesus Christ died. Some said Jesus didn't die. they back themselves with verses from the Quran. But there was no place in the Quran that says Jesus Christ died. So scholars argue on that. Ma qataluhu wa ma salabuhu walakin subbihala. Ala koy man Jesus fade adi ma crucify. Bari e min fa Jesus la mulunta nyola manim min mulunta yola muta ya crucify. Oto Jesus le ala koy ma fa nyindulato. Bari for Jesus fata le fa mam fa. Qur'ano kono mawji jede. Aseke hadiso le afo ma hadiso lo. Bari mole nyo saboto le ko Jesus Christ mam fa. Dol ko yes Jesus fata la mam fa o problemo to. But after Jesus fata le doli olafo. That is a disagreement. Doluko. Ali ibn Abi Talib was supposed to be the successor of Prophet Muhammad. Mo doluko. No, what a tonyati. Abu Bakr Siddiq like lonna lele nyosa banyin colt. Adu nyosa bol siata. Doluko. Kila ma kana Muhammadin aba ahadin min rijalikum. Walakin Rasulallahi wa khatamin nabiyyin. Musil mole nyosa baje. Dol Ahmadiyal dol sako Ahmadiyal. Again, some will consider Ahmadiyas non-Muslims. Our belief is anybody that says Muhammad is not the last prophet is really a problem. But that particular verse, if that was what supported the fact that Muhammad Rasulullah is the last prophet, some scholars disagreed for that verse. What did they say? Khatam in Arabic means a ring. Ring, khatam. That is a ring. Some interpret it that way. Ma kana Muhammadin aba ahadin min rijalikum. Muhammad manke mo famati atol kewlukono. Walakin Rasulallah. But Muhammad mo ala la kilalati wa khatamin nabiyyin. Aning annabiyo molu dolko ilabang. Aning annabiyo molu labango. Dolko hani khatami nyamanke annabiyo molu kumfarawati. Bari dolko aning annabiyo mola konna. Konna hiya iko, it signifies his importance. Annabiyo mol kono. Atelemu ibe kumadi, he is the best amongst them. Dolia interpret wo nyama. Ya faham. Oto yaita ndiko nyosa bo bijet. Umar bin al-Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He had a disagreement with Abu Bakr and Siddiq and Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abu Bakr and Umar one side, Abu Bakr and Rasulullah on one side, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Umar on one side. When they went to fight in Badr, Ghazwat Badr, the first battle in Islam, what happened? They captured a lot of soldiers from the enemy line, captives, war captives. Now, Muhammad Rasulullah consulted with Umar. He also consulted with Abu Bakr and Siddiq radiallahu anhu. When he consulted with the two, Umar said, slaughter all of them. Because if you leave them, they are powerful enemies. They will go and regroup. Let's slaughter them. Kill all of them. That's what Umar says. Kill them so that the power of enemies will be reduced. Abu Bakr said, no, don't kill them. Let's collect ransom from them. And some of them that are educated, let's use them to teach our children. Okay? Now that is their payment. And after that, they can release them. So you pay ransom and you are released. That's what Abu Bakr suggested. But when you pay ransom, that money will help Muslims. That wealth will help Muslims to build us. Ya faham? So, when you saboketa, Rasulullah accepted what Omar said. So, what Abu Bakr Siddiq said, astaghfirullah al-azim. They disagreed on matters. So, we disagree on matters. Again, when you talk about Islam, some people will say, okay, don't involve Islam. But like I said, I will repeat again, Americans disagree. Americans, at their Congress, they disagree on increasing debt limit. You all know about that. Britain just got out of Brexit, the famous term. They left European Union. Half of the country said they want to stay in. Half of the country they said they want to, stay out. And now Scotland wants to go back into the European Union. So that's okay for political parties, for people to disagree. That's human. But let's handle it with maturity and let's stop blame game. Because we all have interest when we are getting into something. Whether the interest is too big for understanding or too small for comprehension, we still have to agree that everybody has an interest. We just have to battle it out and come to a middle ground where all of us will be satisfied and we move on. I think that is what is supposed to happen. That's my point in this. Sometimes I may not agree with what my party says, but whatever is agreed at my party level, I stand by it and I will support it 1,000,000%. That's what I am, because partio, ndela partio, ngalo neko UDP have Gambia at heart. Every other party has, but UDP, ngalo neko, they have Gambia at heart. And I will support them, and I'll support their moves, and I'll support their values and their interests, because that to me is the interest of the Gambian people. But that is, a subject of debate, rational debate, objective debate, open-minded debate, and a debate that is based on mutual understanding, mutual love, and mutual respect for the interests of the country. Mbal kondo nambal jaila, wahbi nehut, dia moman dia, talking is not easy. Nenga momo tonya al sorry, nenga fiofemva mandia momoe al sorry, bari mantima adumbe mobe yamfadanila, nenga fiofemva mimmang betea, dia mola mandia ngal kondo ngal jai. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.